All right, Charlie. It is November 11th. We're on episode 20 of our podcast.
Oh,
We're,
wait.
we are. We're joined today by the man himself, writer for Rabbit Hole Studios and our comic, The Lost Gardens, episode 1, and many more to come.
I hope.
James
Yeah,
Babineau.
If we don't get canceled.
Yes. Hello,
How are you?
James.
How are you today?
I'm doing great. It's a great day.
Good.
Why
It's
you
very
doing?
rainy.
Please tell me why
Is
you're
it?
doing great.
Please allow us to ask why you were doing great.
This is what the podcast is all about.
Well,
We ask
why I'm
every-
doing great. I woke up alive.
Yeah.
Another day around another rotation around the sun, and
Yeah.
no, I'm
You?
doing great.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Okay. So
Day off.
while Charlie was trying to get his mic and camera set up, James and I had a chat, and I found out something about James. I knew it before, but I kind of clued in after. So James,
Mhm.
James.
you enjoy football or soccer as we call it here.
I
I
do.
know.
I
I
do.
know what you're gonna do. I know what you're gonna do. Go on.
And Charlie also
Go on.
likes football. So
Mhm.
James, can I ask you a question? Who is your favorite
Sure.
team?
Well, my favorite team is Toronto FC. They
That-
play in the Major League Soccer in North America. However, if I was watching Premier League, I would have to go with Manchester United, of course.
So, if anybody doesn't know, Charlie is a big Manchester United fan.
I'm a huge Manchester United.
No, Charlie likes Liverpool.
What got you into supporting Manchester United?
Well, you see, it's kind of like cheering for any sports team, really. You're just born with it.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like Toronto Maple Leafs, like on your fine back wall there. I
And
was
when-
born a Leafs fan.
Was that when you lost your soul?
yes, yes. Right upon birth, I was designated soulless with Manchester United birthright.
Did you ever go to a game?
No, we were going to see Southampton and Arsenal when I was over there,
Mhm.
but it got canceled, postponed because Arsenal made it to the next leg in the Champions League at the time. So that took care of that for us. Yes.
Mhm.
No,
Oh,
would
so-
definitely love to see a real game sometime.
Do you have a favorite player or players?
Oh, you see, that's the trouble. It's actually been a while since I watched Manchester. For me, my favorite player is still Wayne Rooney or like Ryan Giggs, but that's like early 2000s. So it's been a while. But mostly I keep up with TFC these days.
Yeah, I recommend that.
Yeah.
keeping-
Just
You know,
stay away.
I do observe the scoreboards, the standings, and I say, oh, it hasn't been the same since Sir Alex left. So
Yeah, I don't reckon it has been. It hasn't been
No.
the same. He was very aggressive back then, and
it was.
he always got his way. He was pushy.
Oh
and
yeah.
he had the refs right there for him, always there.
Yes.
Yeah, But
Uh,
yeah. Now
the
it's
good days, the good times have ended for Manchester.
no, they haven't. They haven't.
Yeah.
They're only away from what, 2 players possibly to change all that. That's it. They're done. They're
True.
back again.
Yeah.
They'll never be gone. They're a good team. They'll never be gone.
Yes.
They're one of the teams that will probably be up there, no matter what, no matter how low you think they're going to get.
Yeah.
They're just going to be up there because they've got good players. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
So
And you know what? That's good. That's good to have in your back pocket.
it is.
hmm And Liverpool managed to win the league finally in
Yes.
30 years of waiting, but it was
Yeah.
worth it. It was worth it. The trouble is, we couldn't have a parade
Yeah.
No.
well, yeah.
because of
There's
because of
this- there's this
COVID.
whole-
That's
pandemic,
Liverpool's
right?
luck.
Yeah.
So
But
speaking,
you left, didn't you? You left
I did.
England at around that time, so you escaped it, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was COVID sort of followed us
Yeah.
because I was teaching in the UK, and we were in Italy before that. And the last day I was in Italy, the trains were delayed in Milan, and I was like, "Well, that's strange. Why are the trains delayed in Milan?" But that was because of the Lombardy outbreak. That's when it all started.
Yeah.
So the day we got out was when the outbreak began way up in northern Italy. And so a couple weeks later, things start trickling into the UK, and we also then decide, right, let's get out of here, back to Canada. And that's what I did.
And it
Yes.
followed you there as well.
Yeah.
Like the Pied Piper of COVID.
Yeah.
So-
I lured them with my flute.
So
Can you take it back, please?
Yeah.
It didn't quite work with Boris. It got him, but nothing happened. You know?
yeah. So backstory on you, James, before like how we met each other, I guess. So James and I, we go way back.
Way back.
Yeah.
Years.
So James and I used to be friends. Well, still are friends. In
Wait, what?
in junior high and high school.
I'm getting out of this one.
In junior high and high school, we used to play good old fashioned video games together, Minecraft and Gary's Mod. And I remember the day I told you that Daisy came out on Steam.
Yes.
I remember the blood curdling scream you let out.
Oh yeah, that was quite a day, wasn't it?
It was
And
quite
you
the
know
day.
what though? It's funny. The games you mention, a lot of people may say they're relics, but they're
Yeah.
still around.
Yeah, they're still
That's the
around
funny
and they're still fun to play, I find.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it's nostalgia or I don't know.
I always find those games, they're not old to me. They're not old. I remember games that were block, and I don't mean the NES and Nintendo. Before that, I remember them being really blocky, and you used your imagination to say, "Oh yeah, that's what that is." Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Then the graphics you get nowadays is crazy.
it's wild.
Mm.
How is playing those games for a nostalgia's sake?
Me or
You, yeah.
Yeah.
what kind of games? Like the
Oh, like
ones
the old
Andrew
blocky
said.
ones. Yeah.
Oh,
Old
that's good.
blocky ones.
I was playing them when I was at the other house, and I was playing the Acorn Electron. That's really old, but it brought back a lot of good memories, even though you had cassette tapes, yeah,
Yeah.
to load up the games. So it used to
Jeez.
take possibly 5 minutes, depending on how good the game is. Yeah, even if it wasn't good, you were just glad it loaded up because sometimes it just crashed halfway. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it goes ZX whatever, and then it says error, and you were like, oh shit. And then when a game actually loads, it's not very good, the game, but you're just glad it works, so you just play it. Yeah, but it just brought back a lot of good memories.
Oh, that's
I,
good.
Good.
I recommend Andrew try and play those old games.
Yeah.
Play on an emulator. You'll see
Yeah.
how bad they were. Compared to the games you just mentioned, there must be older games that you like back in the day.
So whenever like before all of that, I used to play. I think we talked about it in a video a while back, but it was like Jazz Jackrabbit and like some of the original like Microsoft Flight Simulator 2000. That was like my childhood games.
And WWE.
WWE. I played. Well, James used to also be a WWE fan.
yes.
I'm still dabbling in it a little bit. I'll watch like Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown just for something to watch because there's no sports right now. Like
Yeah.
baseball's gone, basketball's gone, hockey's gone.
NHL is like is going to be back in 2021.
Yeah,
I think
well
I
they're
think you're
aiming
saying
for
January.
yeah, January 1st is whenever they release their
Roster or team.
well they've already been releasing some details on the return to play thing. So they're gonna have a Canadian hub and then a American hub, and American teams can play against American teams, and then Canadian teams will have to play against Canadian teams, which kind of sucks, but eh.
Why have they done that? Because they don't want to spread it. Like,
Well,
Yeah, no
because
cross border.
yeah, cross border. It's really hard to get into Canada from
how
America.
come?
Well,
How
I
come
guess
Canada are better in that aspect than in England, where we still have international games?
Wow, that's
Yeah.
wild. Yeah,
I don't know.
it depends. I guess it just depends on where you are. Like even in the States, you
But
still
they're
have.
more on the ball. Canada are more on the ball than
Mm,
England.
Yeah.
You-
Well,
I think, especially with the sporting events, I think they're just they're considered like entertainment, right?
yeah.
Like they're not important, so there's no audiences,
Yeah.
there's none of that. And I think because Canada is less involved overall with a lot of the major sports leagues,
Mhm.
like besides NHL. Like if you look at NBA, there's only one Canadian team.
MLB.
Same
Yeah.
with baseball.
Mhm.
And I think with NHL, they're forced to really separate the two.
Mhm.
And they did that with Major League Soccer. There's only three Canadian teams, and they played against each other for about a month. Three
Yeah.
teams, that's all.
Oh,
Yeah.
free
And
teams.
yeah, so it was getting boring to watch after a while.
Well, that's the reason why I say it's gonna suck if the Canadian teams are gonna be playing against each other,
Mm,
because you've got Calgary, Edmonton, Ottawa, Toronto, and
Montreal,
Montreal, and I think that's it. Is it
Winnipeg,
five Winnipeg? That's it, and then I think that's it.
Vancouver.
I think I got Vancouver. Anyway,
Yeah.
there's however many Canadian teams for hockey, and we're gonna
Mm.
be. It just seems like 6 teams or 7 teams is just gonna be repetitive.
True. I can say it will be certainly more variety than three.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
7.
So
Wow.
there is seven Canadian hockey teams.
Yeah.
And then
Are
there
they just doing? Is there any money towards it though in hockey? I
like
know it's for
yeah.
entertainment value, but
Yeah. Like
Big money, especially if they make most of their money off of like concessions and
Yeah.
having huge because the stadiums are usually capacity from anywhere from 18,000 to, geez, what some of them are in
yeah.
the high 25,000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the question. I think they need government subsidies to survive now. Most sporting, especially like minor leagues, so like the really small leagues,
Yeah.
they need government money to even operate right now.
Yeah. So you said like how big the capacity is on them, and Bell Center is the number one like the biggest stadium in the NHL, 21,000 fans.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
That'd be loud.
Almost 22,000 fans, and Bell
Yeah.
Center is where the Montreal Canadiens play. Which, Charlie, to put this in perspective, that's like Manchester United to you.
Which has 60 plus
I was
thousand
gonna say there'd be a
fans.
lot more in like Old
Well,
Trafford.
No, I mean,
I
to-
get what you
like,
mean. They're like the
com-
big.
compared.
Yeah.
No, compared
oh,
to
scale wise, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I was more comparing me being a Toronto fan and having an enemy like that.
Ah, yes.
Oh.
The Liverpool to a Manchester rivalry.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that your
blue-
real enemy? Then you hate them
blue
that
versus
much?
red type thing.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but I would take a Montreal Canadian fan any day over a Boston Bruins.
Well,
Boston
that is true.
Bruins,
That is
yeah.
true also.
That's the one thing we can all agree on. Boston sucks.
Boston
Sorry
does
for
suck.
any Boston viewers out
Yeah.
there, but boo.
I'll agree. Boston sucks.
Yeah.
Boston sucks
Well, we
as
just
a
lost
hockey
the
team.
Boston viewership market.
Boston, go to hell. They suck. Okay, admit. Just you gotta get used to that now.
Well, actually, they're a lot better than Toronto is. I'll admit. Game 7 is.
See, you're
is
not
raw
both
for
Toronto.
us.
Are you both Toronto fans?
Yeah, we
Oh,
are.
we certainly are.
Yeah.
Born
Yeah.
blue.
Do
We
you
bleed
cry
blue.
when they lose, or just?
No, we're used to it now.
So, we started this podcast the week that Toronto lost to the Zamboni driver. Do you remember that?
Oh,
thing?
yeah.
That was the week that we
Yeah.
started this podcast. And the
Wow.
reason why we started this podcast, because I wanted to ramble on about
He just wanted to rant, and then it became a podcast.
Yeah.
So it's lovely how these things work out, right?
Yeah. And actually, kind of ironically, around that same time, COVID started. So if we go back to watch like the starting of our videos, it's like, yeah, so PEI has like one case, and they're not quite sure if it's like spreading here, and it's like,
Mm.
and then like in the middle, it's like, yeah, we have 27 cases right now, and now we're back down to 2 or 3.
And you
Yeah,
know what's funny? Just those numbers alone. Like when right now, there's 127,000 per day in the States
Mhm.
over that. Even in the rest of Canada, you're getting high in the
Yeah.
thousands. And how's
It's
the
true.
UK doing these days?
I stopped counting. That's how
Yeah.
bad it is.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as the US, but
Yeah.
Yes.
it's pretty bad because
Yeah, 'cause,
Boris
we're in a
Boris does not
lockdown.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
we're in lockdown too. The electric boogaloo. It seems so. That's it.
So
Here
right.
in Liverpool, it's like the pandemic doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's interesting, eh?
yeah. There's some people that wear masks. There's
Yeah.
some people that wear masks like that.
Yeah, right under the nose. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the same in where we live in Canada, where
Yeah.
I'm in Newfoundland and Andrew's in Prince Edward Island.
Yeah.
Where here there's no real concern outside of the odd travel related case. There's
Yeah,
no community
so
spread. There's nothing.
I don't know how it is in Newfoundland, but on PEI they just released that they have like the traffic light thing where the warning system. So if it's red, you guys got to be careful.
So Canadian.
If
So
it's
Canadian.
yellow, then you better be wearing your mask. You better have everything on. You better be
No, no,
social
no. You
distance.
better be wearing. Hey, you better be wearing your mask. Hey, no, no.
And then if it's green, you're good to go. You can go
Wow.
in anywhere, and right now we're in green.
That's good.
Has it
Yeah.
worked? Has it worked?
Well, I don't know. We haven't gotten at a green. it's
Oh.
Yeah.
it's-
It's been good.
yeah.
But you know what? That's funny. They use the same thing in schools, eh?
Yeah. Do they?
So when you really think about it, it's really just like monitoring children, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Definitely.
Yeah. So right
Well,
now,
they do that in school then there. What the
so
lights?
so the stop sign thing is for cell phones. Because
oh yes,
especially
you've told
it's
me about
always
this.
the big thing where it's like, why are kids using cell phones? And at this point, you can't, as year 6 in the UK or grade 5 here, are using cell phones on a daily basis. Um, Cat's out of the bag. At this point, it's really just a question of adaptation. How can teachers use technology instead of trying to fight it?
Yeah.
And that's part of it, is like, if it's green, you can use your phones, it's free time or it's part of a project. But if it's red, the teacher's talking.
Yeah. So if you're talking and I'm like, yeah, huh? Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What do you
It
do?
depends on the
How do you do it? How do you control that
yeah.
situation?
It depends on the setup, right? Like if you're a quiet kid just sort of on your phone, I won't make a show of it, as sometimes it happens, but sometimes I might say, Charlie, how's the homework, or I'll walk by, knock on the desk. It's the little techniques that can catch
You
the
got,
student's attention.
hey,
Yeah.
get out
I'm
the.
looking it up here. I'm just getting information.
Oh yeah. Well, you see, and you follow up with that, and 9 times out of 10 they do that. But I look at their phone beforehand as I'm walking by. 9 times out of 10, they're on Snapchat or Instagram, or like they're playing Among Us on their phones. And I'll say, well, that I see Snapchat is really good for research, and,
Yeah.
and so you get, sometimes you can get funny dialogue. Sometimes you get a stink eye. Most times it just resolves itself.
Yeah.
The trouble is technology is like steaming ahead now. So
Yeah.
you just gotta get used to it and deal with it.
Yeah. Like there's some teachers who are so anti cell phone. It's like, it's almost like a creed in the room where it says, if I see your phone, it's gone. It's going to the office, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I do remember teachers some that were really cool about it. You could listen to music while you were working, and then and then there was others that were like, if I even see like it sticking out of your pocket, uh,
It's gone.
it will be sent to the office, and you will need to pick it up after class.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And depending on the school, sometimes your parents have to get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So.
Have you ever been strict with kids with their phones?
Phones. Oh, it depends. You have your odd case where you do have to confiscate a phone because sometimes they could be searching up inappropriate things as well.
Yeah.
Or especially if you're talking about something very important, and it's all about consistency. Like
Yeah.
3 strikes are out kind of deal. It's usually it for me. Um,
But don't you
So-
have like a filter in schools so you don't see those sort of things?
No,
well,
but like,
it depends because if you're not on school Wi-Fi, a lot
Yeah,
of
'cause
a lot
you
of
can get
kids use
data.
data.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so they
true.
can search up literally whatever they want.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good and sometimes it is not.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's great. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah, so you get your interesting cases. It's
Yeah.
never a dull moment.
so you're never a strict teacher then, eh?
I'm easy. I can be strict especially when I have to. It's all about reading the room.
Yeah.
If the room demands a certain technique, you just have to go through those sort of steps. Because sometimes some classes require a sort of stricter approach, and some are very loosey goosey because sometimes they're just a less challenging room, and
Mhm.
it's just it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've gotten over this, James, but whenever we used to go to hockey games and you were just starting your subbing career, I don't know, actually no, I think you might have been like in a class helping out or something like that. You'd say you'd have children come up to you out of school and say, "Hi, Mr. Babineau," and you'd be like, "Wait, what?" "Oh, right." And then you said you'd take a second to clue in. "Oh, right.
Yeah,
There's
and
children."
yeah, it's actually it's funny like doing a job like that. It's a very public job
Mm-hmm.
when you're dealing with as many as 100 kids a day, and it's just if you start seeing them more frequently, the more you know, the higher the chances are you're going to
Yeah.
get recognized in public.
Yeah.
And I've never had to deal with that before, so I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Especially like celebrities, right? They get
Yeah.
recognized on a daily basis. They have to hide themselves.
Yeah.
But
Do you
I'm
have
just a
do you have your own star now?
Yeah, I got my star on the big walk. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like even I'm just a little teacher,
Yeah.
and I get that sometimes. So
Mhm.
I think it's interesting.
Does it feel good, or do you feel a bit at first? It was like, whoa.
At first I was just like, oh, at the same time like, wow, you remember me? Okay, that's funny. So
You got my name right. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. And it no, it just depends because 9 times out of 10, it's always pleasant.
Yeah.
You always want to be pleasant with the kids. You don't want to be grumpy. You sometimes you have a bad day, but you don't take it out on them,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I'd be like, shut up. I mean, no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in the back in the closet and just go. And then pop back out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scream into the pillow for a second. Yeah.
Have you ever had a terrible job though doing subbing?
No, of course, we can't shed details of
Yeah.
specifics, but there has been there was one day in particular that was
What's sense?
quite.
What's sense for it?
Oh, what? Sorry.
We'll
Ding.
Sense
Yeah. But long and the short of it, um, it was just a very disrespectful room.
Yeah.
And some of the students, well, let's just say they had very disrespectful manner towards me, and not even as a teacher, but just as a person.
As a person. Oh gosh.
And
Oh, wow.
that's when the lines cross there.
Yeah.
That's when things, it was just I was dumbfounded. I didn't know what to do. So usually when something, in any case, if there's ever an extreme event, you have to call the administration,
Yeah.
and then they step in, sort it out.
Yeah.
I've only had that once,
Yeah.
only once so far, and
Yeah.
it was a mess. It was quite a
Oh,
day. Yeah,
Yeah. I'd say it would be.
and
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
but after the weekend, I was like, all right, I'm great. I'm ready for
Back
Monday.
back to work.
back to the slaughter.
Chirpy again. La 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 la.
Yeah, back.
As they're slaughtering you. La 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 la.
Yeah.
Woo. Hi kids.
Oh,
See you next week.
yep. Oh yeah.
So what's your line of work, if I'm allowed to say?
Hey, what? Sorry.
Your line of work, your job description. What do you do
Well, it
as a sub?
depends. Yeah.
Or
So
do you
as a
do all
substitute
sorts?
teacher, I fill in. I fill in for full-time teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So if a teacher's out for, various appointments, sickness, illness, whatever reason,
Extra
they
weekend.
put us in to continue various lessons. Now, of course, it's every kid's dream, right? Oh, the substitute teacher's in. You
Yeah.
can just sort of get away with everything. So that's where you get into the difference between easy rooms and challenging rooms. Sometimes they try to test you, or
Mhm.
they try to push buttons, but you gotta have a strong sort of like suit of armor as a substitute.
Yeah.
Can't take it.
Have they ever made fun of your surname?
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. Most of it, and I do think 9 times out of 10, it is with an affectionate manner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my last name is Babineau,
Mhm.
so a lot of kids struggle with the pronunciation, especially when they see it on paper or the chalkboard, whiteboard.
Yeah.
So you'll have kids say Baba Booey. I've had one day, or one person called me Chef Boyardee,
Yeah.
and that actually caught on. And
Oh
it's
gosh.
that particular classroom calls me that.
Yeah.
And it's quite funny, yes,
Yeah.
in most times. And then sometimes you hear somebody make a little snide remark, and but you can't react to that. That's just
Yeah.
how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
go. Yeah, that's okay.
Mm.
I'm fine. That's fine. Yeah.
How about your surname, Charlie?
Yeah.
Have you ever had people comment on that? Because around here, Armor is not a common last name.
People can't say armor. They say amor or amor.
Airmore.
Yeah, but it's not. I get away with the surname because
Yeah.
it's quite a cool surname.
It
isn't
is.
it?
Yeah.
It is. Having an
Suit of
armor.
armor. Come on,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Charlie, on the other hand, can be a girl's name, and people make fun of that for some reason.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah, or Charles. They say Charles.
Yeah.
They say Chaz.
Yeah.
Chuck as well.
Yeah.
But they're just names. I'm okay
Oh
with
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Charlie Brown,
It's
Yeah.
the most
Charlie-
iconic, Charlie.
Charlie Chaplin. I don't mind that. They're
Yeah.
iconic. They are
Yeah,
iconic.
they are.
So I don't mind. What about you, Andrew?
What about me?
What about you?
McLean?
Has anyone made fun of your name? You
No.
sound like McLean. Sounds like a cool action name from a film.
Don. Yeah, yeah.
McLean. Yeah.
No, I do get complain. Is it like kind
Complain McLean.
of no? Just instead of being called Andrew McLean, they call me Andrew Complain. That's
That's a good one.
that's
I
one.
like that.
Not really. Like it's kind of a
I reckon
common
it's,
last name.
Yeah, because I was thinking in terms of Prince Edward Island, anything with Mac,
Mac.
half the island has it, or
Mick-
Gallant.
Mac. Well, that's
Yeah.
yeah. Arsenal, another one.
Yeah.
Arsenal.
Now, if you were a teacher, Charlie, your last name would be,
Mr.
you
Armor.
put that on the board, Mr. Armor. Oh,
Oh, you
kids
get...
would be going, whoa, sick name. Yeah.
That's funny.
And I'm that tough as well.
Yeah.
So, that kid, if you're on your phone, I'm swiping it. That's it.
Yeah. So you got
I'm
the
gonna
great
take
opening
it.
line.
You will not get it at the end of the day because I will be selling it on eBay. Okay? You watch, boy.
Yeah.
And you'll have kids going, oh, you actually can't take my phone. It's against the law. Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's quite
Well, I've
funny.
taken your phone. Are you going to arrest me? Are you going to call the police? And then they do. Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. You hear a couple raps on your door. Yeah. Sir, you're
Yeah.
gonna
We've
have to get
heard
back that phone.
got 50 phones in your house. 50 phones. No.
Sell them as burners.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Use them as
So, James,
test devices now for our comic book. Make sure that we can get it on iOS
Oh yeah,
and
that
Android.
thing. Yeah.
So we could use
now
that.
to the main subject here.
Yeah, that we could do a little transition here into sales
Do-do-do.
mode. So
Disgusting
soon
self. But here we go.
soon we will have a comic up for sale on
We will.
iOS, Android, well, Google Play Books or something. I think that's what it's called, Google Play Books.
Google Playbooks.
Yeah, and I think those are the two major ones that we're going on. It's called the Lost Gardens Episode 1, and it's very good. I had very little in the creative process of it. I'm more the technological person, so getting it onto the devices. So there's can't really see it, but
Yeah.
it's on our phones. So I guess we'll chat about that for a little bit. We're sitting at half an hour here, but we can extend a little
Let's
bit
extend
Yeah.
it.
A
Just
little
bit longer.
promotional.
Yeah. So
So,
yeah, you
So,
you
James,
go ahead.
please tell me more about this comic you were working on and have finished.
The first episode.
Oh, sorry. I might have had a little Wi-Fi glitch there.
Yeah.
But
Down
just
the
say just
glitches.
yes. Um, but it's funny how this whole thing started with a message. That's how
One
it all
message.
started. One message. And I think that's the magical part behind it.
Where did the message
Um,
come from?
from Mr. McLean.
Me?
Oh, wow.
Yes, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So it brought me into the fold of Rabbit Hole, and well, hey, it's been great ever since.
Yeah.
And of course, the story I'm writing is sort of a companion piece to the video game.
Yeah.
And of course, the game's out at the moment, but I don't know what I can and can't say in regards to that. But there's,
Yeah.
I'll just say redevelopment, some interesting developments going on there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Some really cool long-term goals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so this comic serves as a companion piece for the game. But it at its heart, we have this big, massive world we want to tell stories about
Yeah.
over the course of different iterations from the game to the comic to who knows, future titles,
Yeah.
future dreams.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's and you'll see in issue 1, which the release date will be coming up rather soon,
Yeah.
especially for the online release.
Yeah.
With plans to go for a print version as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh.
that will follow up, so you'll be able to get your hands on those. That'll be really cool.
That will
As
be.
somebody who reads and digests a lot of comics, I think it's be amazing to actually have it.
Have a physical copy of
Yeah.
the comic that you worked on.
Yeah,
Oh,
that'd
wow.
be wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever worked on comics before?
No, so this is definitely
New.
the icebreaker. Yeah, new
Yeah.
development. But I've done lots of little bit of writing here and there. We used to do back in high school. We used to do a bunch of like scripted little YouTube shows, and
Yeah.
so the creative bone has always been
Yeah.
always been a part of my life, and it was just really fun to actually get to use this on a huge scale,
Yeah.
and it's definitely been a learning curve as well.
Yeah.
Because
Working with Scott.
yeah, Scott, the legendary Scott. Have you had Scott on the show before?
No, he refuses to come on.
He won't come on. He will not come on.
He
So
refuses
he's
to. So he's
Scott
like,
is the Wizard of Oz.
yeah, he's like this person who we talk about all the time, but
Mhm.
nobody's ever actually seen. Well, if you go back to our Twitch and see that, then you'll probably be able to see it. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, so the man behind the curtains, no, great to work with.
mm-hmm.
Um, and you see, I'm just the writer.
Yeah,
You have artists and colorists and letterers. We're all in the fold, making this beautiful project come to light.
yeah,
Um,
and printers
Oh,
too, because we got to
yeah,
meet the wonderful people that are going to be printing. It was an awesome meeting that we had with them.
yeah.
The guy's pretty cool. He's like 80 years old or something like that, 80
Oh
something,
wow.
and he's like he's the kind of person who will be like the cool grandfather type.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's great.
a lot of
But and I
stories.
mean it goes to show that like there's so
Mm-hmm.
many cogs that go into making these projects come to life. And I mean it'd be great to have like a big like collaborative chat or something with the
Yeah,
whole
with
crew
everybody.
sometime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I just like how it all connected, and because when you can work on something, a team, they don't
Yeah.
quite connect with each other. But with this
yeah,
story and the whole look of it, because I love the way it looks,
yeah,
the storyline, the writing, obviously,
yeah,
everything looks, just about right. Yeah.
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 So
It
it's exciting. It's
And I
exciting
think
to see.
I think I can say that a part of that I think is Scott,
yeah.
because
I was
he's
about to
he's
say
he's the
that
center point. He's the center point for the whole project.
Scott is the
Because we
manager.
all, yeah, because we all
Go back to him.
communicate and it all goes through him,
Yeah,
and it all just sort of filters out from there,
yeah,
and voila, you have a wonderful project put together.
yeah.
Um, but I guess just to talk about the description of it, I suppose.
Yeah.
This the story, Lost Gardens. This the sales pitch now.
Yeah.
Go
um,
for it.
yeah. So the Lost Gardens is a story set in a futuristic world. It's a world that feels like ours, but it's not. It's not ours. You could call it Earth, I suppose, but who knows? Who knows really? Um, well, I do. um, but the readers don't. And it follows our main protagonist, Sean Myers, and he lives he's an average man. He lives an average life. He works for the ministry. Anytime you hear the word ministry, right?
Yeah.
You can
Dude.
only there's many connotations you can draw from that. Um, but it's a world that is self-absorbed. It's it. I guess you could almost call it a corporate techno nightmare in a way,
Mm-hmm.
um, because for example, there's just cheeky little advertisements that we put in. Like
Yeah.
one, you can get taste bud enhancers or change your entire vision. Those it's
Yeah.
these silly. It sounds frivolous, and that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a frivolous society. Um, and for Sean, his technology starts to malfunction. And what happens when you live in a world that's so demanding for technology? When your technology stops working, what happens to you? And that's kind of what you see over the course of issue 1.
Yeah.
And it sets up, of course, for the future adventures.
Yeah.
Can't spoil that.
Yeah.
It's a cliffhanger, episode 1, isn't it?
It is a
What's gonna
cliffhanger.
happen?
I can't I
It's like
can't
it's a complete miss. It's like, I mean, I can't say anything really.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But
but
everyone read it. Damn it, everyone
Yeah.
read it.
yes, yeah,
So-
It is good.
if you read it, I can promise you may or may not get a satisfactory response. It just depends on how you feel about how stories go, right?
yeah.
Like not everybody's gonna love every story. For example, I mean, you watch the TV show Lost. A lot of
Yeah.
people hated that finale.
I
But the people who made it, I'm sure, thought it was great.
yeah. Exactly.
So all I can say is I look forward to telling the story,
Yeah.
and I look forward to hopefully lots of other people look forward to
Yeah.
reading the story.
And as we speak right now, it's not released on anything.
Correct.
We are working towards that. But if you would like updates on when it will be released, we have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Studio Burrow, which is which is where we post everything from video games to these podcasts to book releases. So, yeah, that's that.
Very
Is
good.
there-
I
is there-
love that pitch. I love that pitch, by the way.
Yeah,
You did a good job.
Great pick. Yeah. Anyway, guys, we're coming up on 40 minutes here, so I guess we'll end it off here with the talk about the Lost Gardens. So, I guess I will see you next time, Charlie, and it was good talking to you, James. Again.
Oh, well,
James,
thank you. Thanks
It
for
was
having
excellent
me.
talking to you, despite you being a Manchester United fan.
Yes, and
You're a great writer, so I'll give you that. Okay, so
well, thank you.
it balances it out. Okay.
Yes, and I look forward to growing creatively and well, getting to tell I think it's a wonderful story, and hopefully
Yeah.
I'm
everybody
looking
else
forward
thinks
to
that
it.
it
I'm
is.
looking
Yeah.
forward to episode 2.
Which is in the works.
Yeah,
so,
it is. I got to see some of episode 2. It's looking good.
And I'm
I-
typing away at future issues beyond that. So
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
But
All right,
for now,
everybody. Well, see you
prepare
guys
for
later.
episode 1, okay?
Yeah.
And I'll see you later.
See you guys later.